Welcome back, everybody. As we begin to talk about the closing unit for the class, which is on new religious movements, the first question we have to ask about this idea is, are they really new? And if we reflect upon the class and the different religions that emerged, say, for example, Buddhism, it emerged from Hinduism, right? Christianity emerged from Judaism. So while they are new in their own sense in that they have their own teachings and their own founders, which are different from the previous traditions that they emerged from, they're not really new in the sense that they did not grow from anything else. So that's one thing that's important to remember, is that we take a look at these new movements that have happened. They emerged from something that was already existing. A second thing to touch upon is the idea that many people have in the mainstream religious communities, that these are cults. And that's sometimes true and sometimes it's not true. First off, when we hear the word cult, it's usually associated with people who have some harmful practices to their followers, oftentimes meeting with a violent end, such as Jim Jones in Jonestown or David Koresh and the Branch Davidians. But not all of these new religious movements are cults. In order to have a cult, by the way, you have to meet three criteria. Number one, you have to have a charismatic founder. Number two, it is through this charismatic founder that the religious message is delivered, and that religious message supersedes a previous religious message or is brand new, unheard of. And then third, that this group of people, they are looked upon with suspicion and distrust, not only by those who go to church, but by members in society who don't go to church at all. And it's because of that third one that these are really not cults, and that they really don't create suspicion and distrust in the community at large. So to call these different religious movements cults is something that we should avoid. Now, these new religious movements have been growing like crazy. There's been 14,000 new religious communities in the 20th century alone, and the growth is continuing into the 21st century. Now, there's three main reasons why these new religious movements have become so popular: modernization, globalization, and secularization. So, modernization, that refers to high levels of literacy, education, and technology. And a result of this is that it's movement away from established religious authority. Globalization, people think about, has only been going on in the 21st century, which is not true. It was going on way back in the 20th century and even into the 19th century, and that's a result of colonialism, where a parent country sets up colonies in a different part of the globe. And then we have the import and export of culture, and religion is tied into there. Then, in the 21st century, certainly this is where we have the invention of the internet and the movement of peoples and ideas. And then we have secularization. This is the influence of science and materialist philosophers, which is concerned with the world and not religion. So now, the first thing we're going to look at will be two new movements out of Hinduism and Buddhism that you might have come into contact with. or be familiar with, I should say. The first is ISKCON, which is Krishna consciousness. This is commonly known by the name of Hare Krishnas. You might have heard of Hare Krishnas. And Hare Krishnas, that teaching came to America in the mid-1960s when Bhaktivedanta Swami came to America, and initially in New York and then settled in San Francisco. And he had special devotion to the Hindu deity Krishna. And it took root there in San Francisco, and then it started to spread throughout America as well as the world. And today there's more than 300 ISKCON centers worldwide. So with Krishna consciousness, what does it teach? If you remember our discussion regarding the different theophanies of God, some hold that God is formless, just being, not a being, but being. With Krishna consciousness, it teaches that God is a person, and takes the form of the specific Hindu deity of Krishna. So what we need to do is we need to seek union with Krishna. Now, if you remember the discussions regarding karma, samsara, and reincarnation, when we were with Hinduism, we can break free from samsara by performing devotional acts to Krishna. And the world is illusion. It is Maya. Remember, Maya, that's bad. Right? So the world is illusion. And a famous quote with Krishna consciousness: from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one attains to my abode, never takes birth again. So that is what we want to do. We want to be released from the cycle of samsara through our devotion to Krishna. So if you're part of ISKCON, of Krishna consciousness, the core central ritual, you have to chant 16 times a day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And that's be like the core chant. It's almost like the form of a repetitive prayer. So you would do that 16 times a day. In addition, Hare Krishnas are vegetarians. They're known for caring for a lot of animals that would otherwise be eaten, whether it be a goat or cow. Non-violent people, very, very peaceful people. There's no gambling, no tobacco, no alcohol, no drugs. Sex is permitted only within marriage for the purpose of procreation. In other words, you should only have sex to create a child. And the ultimate purpose in Hare Krishna is to be released from the cycle of samsara and to seek union with Krishna.